All right, good morning, class. Today we're going to be working on editing a photograph with Sketchbook. Okay, so I went online and I found a black and white photograph. The first step is going to be to duplicate the layer. So clicking on the layer, you'll find duplicate at the top right hand side of this menu. You have the second layer highlighted. I want to make sure that the bottom layer is locked. The top layer is the one we're going to work with. And I also want to turn off the bottom layer. That's the bottom layer. Turn it off and turn on the top layer. The next step is I'm going to zoom in to a part of the picture that I want to borrow from or take from. And now I'm going to select the selection tool. Then I'm going to select the lasso tool. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim and select around the item in the photograph that I'm going to duplicate. I'm using my finger, there's no stylus. I'm including the shadow of the item, and it didn't like that, so I'm going to do it again. I want to include the shadow, and I want to make sure that I get to the beginning. Okay, you want to make sure that your transparency is unlocked. Unlocked layer. Because if it's locked, guess what? It's not going to want to work for you. Okay. Let's see. Okay, that's the issue. So make sure that this square here, that this square has the options. I guess it's called the options. Make sure that it's in the regular square selection. So every time you start a new one, it's going to want to leave the selection there. So that's where you might have an issue. It might not want to do what you wanted initially. So just double check that this is options and that you're selecting the regular replace, not adding or subtracting. Okay, replace is just selecting regular and your lasso tool. Okay, if there's a little plus or minus sign here, then you got to change that to regular square. Okay. The cool thing about this is you can add or you can subtract. You can subtract part of your selection, like this part right here. Or you can subtract this part of it right here. You can subtract those extra little parts that don't quite belong in the work. And like that doesn't look like it belongs. You can trim it really close. And that's subtracting. Adding obviously does the opposite thing, but just go back to regular replace. All right, once you have that, then you want to zoom out of the whole deal and you want to select now the invert. Click on that one time. You should be able to see. Notice I zoomed out of it, so I want to see the whole thing. Click on that invert one time, and now it gives you a double selection. What that means is it's selected everything except for everything except for your layer that you wanted to work with. So the background, right? Make sure you're in one of the layers that you want to work with. I should just have just two. Okay, make sure you're in the top layer. And now I'm going to delete the background. Okay, I'm going to deselect the item, bring back the photo underneath, and I'm still selected on the top layer. Okay, still selected on the top layer, and I'm going to now transform the selection here. Transforming that is gonna, it's gonna give it the ability to move that. Now I can go and duplicate this now, just the little car itself, and continue to transform it, doing all kinds of cool things with it. And the whole trick here is that you place these new parts of the drawing in and enlarge them so that they look like they're coming forward into space or receding back into space. Duplicate a layer, transform, duplicate a layer, transform. Now it looks like this Porsche is being chased down by all these other ones here. And then transform. There was nothing in that one. I duplicated nothing. Let's try this again. Duplicate, transform. There it is. I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to kind of mess around with you guys here. Put that one car. That doesn't work. It doesn't look real. That's the trick. You want to make it look real. Done. Okay, so I've modified the photograph, and now I'm going to go ahead and save this by clicking on Menu, Gallery, Save Current Sketch. Okay, when you click on it, you should be able to see all of the layers, everything else about it. So go ahead and make sure that you snapshot the whole thing. Okay, this is what I want to see here in the photograph. Okay, I want the whole snapshot. That's it. Thank you. Have a good day.